Bart Herbison for the Tennessean and Tennessean.com, again with the legendary songwriter Desmond Child. Kudos to Butch Spiriton of the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation for doing a movie that everybody's going to see soon called It All Begins with a Song. My favorite part in this movie is you telling the story that is the subject of this week's Story Behind the Song for the Tennessean and Tennessean.com. Oh my God, Desmond, you steal this thing. Dude looks like a lady. What's that story?
The very first day I met Aerosmith, I flew to Boston. They did not want to write with an outside writer. I was pushed into it by their A&R man, the legendary John Clodner. And I walk in, and Stephen was, very warm, and, he brought me in, and he started playing me this little reverse guitar that kind of was a loop that they were doing, went da-da, 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 and he started singing, "Cruising for the ladies, da-da, da-da," and, I looked at him and I said, "That's really bad." And they were, they started, like, their arms got all crossed. I thought I was going to be escorted out by the roadies. And so Stephen, who's, a very sweet soul and kind of a people pleaser, said, "Well, originally I was singing 'Dude Looks Like a Lady.'" And I went, "What? Dude looks like a lady?"
Your juxtaposition, you're known for sort of opposing ideas in a song title.
That's
You've
right.
made a career on it.
Yes, the contrast of opposites, the tension of the opposites is very important in all art.
Especially rock.
But in all art,
Yeah.
in a photograph or painting, the tension of opposites. And I learned this from my mentor, Bob Crew, who wrote all these songs with Bob Gaudio for the Four Seasons. And, so I'm very conscious of that. And I heard that title, "Dude Looks Like a Lady." And I said, "How did you come up with it?" And he told the story of having gone to a nightclub with all his roadies, and they were all there, and it was kind of like an empty club, and at the very end of the bar was this gorgeous, very curvy, big blonde with all this black nails and all the beautiful skin and everything. And so they were all drawing straws as to who was going to go up and say hello or something like that. And suddenly she turns around, and it's Vince Neil of Motley Crue. And they were like, "Oh my God, oh my God." And then Stephen started saying, "That dude looks like a lady. That dude looks like a lady." And that's where it was born.
You know what I love about you? You're as honest as the day is long. And you really, and you have guided me. I want to interrupt the flow of this for a minute and thank you for the Music Modernization Act, because you have been an advocate on the ASCAP board and your own independent efforts since I've known you for 25 years, Desmond. And you do it as effectively as anybody. You bring so many people together and get them to focus. You are a leader of the Latin community here in the United States, their Hall of Fame and others. You get as much credit as any single individual songwriter for this legislation. And you've told me a couple times, like, "Bart, you just give me the look, and I know, like, I need to go over here a little bit." You said that to Steven Tyler. You told him the title was horrible, or that the lyric was horrible. Well, he could have responded differently. So take it back there and go through the rest of writing that song with them.
Well, I said, "Dude Looks Like a Lady's fantastic. That's a hit." And Joe kind of like already, his arms were crossed, and he's looking down at me. He said, "But we don't know what that means." And I said, "I know what that means. I'm gay. I understand what that means." So I hoodwinked them into telling the story about this guy, regular guy, that goes into the strip joint and sees this gorgeous blonde up on the stage, falls in love, goes backstage, and then the truth is revealed. But in this case, he goes with it because he starts singing "My Funky Lady," I like it, like it, like that. And then the second verse says, "Never judge a book by its cover, or who you're going to love by your lover." And that's the verse they used in Mrs. Doubtfire dancing with the broom. So there are like, children all over America singing about, the subject, for the last 20, 30 years. And
but isn't part of the genius of that, it can be applied the way it needs to be applied in every individual listener's mind.
That's true. And that's one of the great things about songwriting. In fact, I had one of the workers in my house, with construction guys, say, "Oh, you wrote that song, Do a Naked Lady." And I said, "No, it's Dude Looks Like a Lady." And he had made up his own story according to his own story, and I love that.
I'd say this. Aerosmith, is there a greater rock band ever? I mean, you can have that debate, Zeppelin, Aerosmith, whoever it is. They needed that song. They needed that song at their moment in their career. And there are a couple of other things happened during that period of time that just cemented them from maybe 70s, 80s band into one that has lasted for decades. They had to be appreciative of your input on that song and what it meant to their career. I know you still see Stephen from time to time.
Yes, and last year he was honored at the Schermerhorn,
Right.
at the ball, this
Right.
charity ball.
Right.
And he was thanking people from the stage, and I was there, and I was sitting next to Ashley Judd, and I was feeling like a king. And suddenly he's thanking everybody, and he stops at me. And he starts telling everybody how much I mean to him and to his band. And I was like, kind of trying to sink into my chair. I was like one of those kind of a little bit embarrassing moments. But it touched me so much that he took that moment in front of, our whole community to thank me.
I do the same thing. And let me tell you this, my friend. You said in an earlier episode that you just bonded with John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora when you first met. Same thing kind of happened with Kiss. Let me tell you what it is about you. You are maybe the most emotionally authentic person I've ever known. If art is supposed to make us feel something, a simple conversation with you, Desmond, has made me feel more than some of the world's greatest art.
Aww.
So we are richer for this. I certainly want to express Stephen's emotions. I'm getting a little emotional here too because I just admired the work you've done for American songwriters and the songs you've given us. So thank you.
Thank you.
What a pleasure. The great Desmond Child and Dude Looks Like a Lady, or whatever title you want to give it.
Cruising for the ladies.
Cruising for the ladies. This week's story behind the song for the Tennessean and Tennessean.com.